Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 13th of May 1939, which is a few months on from the end of the last part. And in this part, what I want to do is start trying to add more to this area here, because I think it's going to be quite important to develop this area both for the construction industry and, more importantly, to get some coal production in here, because what that will do is allow us to start thinking about connecting through to Lymington, although it's going to be quite some distance. But before we get started, I just want to give you an update of where we are and fix a couple of problems. The first problem is over here, and that is that this schooner just keeps running out of fuel. So what I'm going to do is we're going to set the line to this guy and just make sure, yeah, Western Country going into there, and then we will remove this guy from here. And the other problem we've got is if I... Oh, why can't I see the border? Is that because this guy... Anyway, there aren't many tourists on the outside, so what we're going to have to do is... oh, there it is. Oh, we got a few now. So you got no tourists. They don't like us. So there's small amounts of tourists due to epidemic. So I think that's a touch of flavour added as part of the event that we can't talk about in 2020 in YouTube if we don't want the video to be blocked. So what we're going to do is come up to here, and we are going to have a little bit of a Western advertising campaign, because we need to get to, I think it's about 240,000, so that we can get a paper template. Now while we're here, we'll talk about the next problem. That is here, where we're in a kind of strange situation where because we're getting so many vehicles being scrapped now. It's partly my fault, because if you look in here, you see there's a purge, a little bit of a purge on dumpers, because I was trying to get rid of, scale back the steam vehicles a bit. In fact, that one's still got gravel in it. Discard that cargo or quarry. Yeah, what I was doing was modernising this area here to try and keep the flow of gravel into here. Looks like there's one still left there, but that's okay. For some reason, let me just look at this. Yeah, he's just wandering backwards and forwards. We got two drop-offs, so I'll set him to wait. Yeah, so and what that did is it created a surge of vehicles to be scrapped. And what I've got is a bit of a, well, two things. I've got a pile of steel building up, and more importantly now, if I can find it, we also got a load of electronics, and I'm very reluctant to sell the stuff. Let me just check here. That's bin supplies. Let me just check. Actually, it'd be easier to do it the opposite way round, because there's only... No, I haven't set it up yet. I thought maybe I was thinking about setting it up. So what we need to do is don't want waste stream. I think it might be construction materials. No, not construction materials. Maybe it's Eastleigh materials. I do really need to spend a little bit of time sorting out these inventories, because they've got themselves into a little bit of a mess. It says there, Eastleigh North scrapping small. I think we could. Where are you? No, you're just exporting. Why are you selling those? I don't want you selling those. I think that was by short-term result. Large custom shared. Yeah, van supplies. This is the one. And what I'm going to do is we're going to export surplus to there as well. The idea behind it is simply just to provide enough that's going on in this direction. So, but besides that, everything is going fairly well in Eastleigh, although we're just really starting to break out here, and I do really need to start thinking about bringing Southampton online, because you can see we've actually we've now finished this, so we can get rid of that dock there, and we can tidy up this area. I think we'll leave the gravel road in. We might be able to use it. If not, we can demolish it. So what we're going to do is start developing Southampton. And if we come over to Warstock, Warstock's got a little bit of a problem, not a major problem, but I'm not really getting the workforce into here, which is giving me a marginal food an alcohol problem. And what I'm thinking long term, and I want to emphasize long term, is I've reviewed my kind of plans here, and I think what we're going to be doing is putting a major food and alcohol production area here based on people living in Cosham. And the idea, but I don't want to build that until, where's the food factory? Until we've got modern industry. And I think modern industry is down here. Where's it? Where's modern? There it is there. We won't get modern industry until about 1958, but which is what, 19 years into the future, because I don't really want to spend a lot on getting that there, although truthfully I do really need to know the difference between production with this food factory. This is 20 tons, this is 15 tons, see, and we got the food factory here. See, I'd like to get that 20 tons if possible. If things come together well, I'd like to start populating Cosham, but what I've had to do is put this in to build this, because the other one I put in doesn't really cover everything, unfortunately. That's a little bit of a failure. Now back to fixing the problem in Eastleigh, and we're going to fix the problem in Eastleigh by actually coming up here. And the way we're going to do that is I need to see the extent of the wood cast here, because what I would like to do is put in a large scrapyard. Oh, not really the space there, is there? Okay, let me just, because what I want to do with this one, because the logic behind it is the fact that these a lot of the vehicles that are turning up in Eastleigh are actually coming from Warstock, and the idea is that if I can put a recycling plant here, that means we can get some free steel into this area, and that free steel will then lend itself to kind of assist in what's going on in this area. In fact, that's the wrong way around. I want the, because of course we're going to get metallic waste, and that's a good, talking about metallic waste is a good segue into saying a big thank you for your comments and feedback, because I did get someone who actually pointed out a mod of how to do the things. Apologies, I can't remember who actually posted the comment. But I did get a suggestion about what we can do. If I can find the mod, I'll show it to you. What it is, it's a mod that instead of turning the recycled waste, where is it? The metallic scrap, if I can find it, this into steel, what it does is it actually turns it into iron. Now that may seem a backward step, but if you've got a major steel production area, like in the case of what we're going to have here, we're not much steel, feeding all the metallic scrap back into the iron production makes life a lot easier logistically. Because if you had a scrapping turning it into steel, then you'd have to move the steel to a place where it can be actually used. So what we're going to do is put you in here. I'm going to put, I would like a fairly large warehouse. We could use the in-game warehouse. Actually, I don't like that much. This one's, see, this one's a little bit better. If I could, yeah, because we can get the road on the right side. So if I can put the road there. And we could actually put the road connection. That actually, no, put a road connection there. Then of course on this side, what I want to do is put a small, put you there, but what I want to do is make sure, put the road in to there. But I would like to make sure that I can get a conveyor out should I need it. Yeah, I won't get it there, but we can put a conveyor there. And then what that means is we can take away the metallic scrap as well. Although generally, as long as you set the right parameter, you don't get that much in the way of metallic scrap. And this is a trick if you do want to move metallic scrap, and that is that if you come to here, you've got a little, it says there, collect resources from vehicles. So if you uncheck this, what you end up with is everything comes out as metallic scrap. And then what you can do then is sort out the the metal scrap. So you actually get more metal scrap. But the problem is you lose all that benefit of the steel and the mechanical components because you get less metal scrap. So if there's a pressing reason why, say for example, you were going into the metallic scrap recycling, that's a way that you can actually get things going. The other, so that's done now. Now the next thing we need to do is go back to Warstock, because we are in May 1939, and I think we've got another tech to research. Yeah, we can research establishment of nuclear science facility. Now this tech gives you absolutely nothing beyond opening up the nuclear research capability, which is, I've gone past it. Where is it? Here. Well, what it does is it opens up the pathway to uranium. So this we'll do in 1939, this in 1940. And it will be, once we've done the uranium mining techniques, that we will show up on the map where uranium is. Although I think the uranium is actually on the Isle of Wight, so it's a little bit irrelevant. The other thing, research I want to check is, oh yeah, we have got a pandemic, so. Now I'm in a little bit of a dilemma. Oh, what's this? Why am I building that? Oh, this is a waste collection. We need this built. Yep. We need you built there, and we'll put you on this as well. Yeah, what's happening is the waste collection is getting a little bit sketchy. Oh, we're right, so we got that there. I'm just gonna, I want these built in. We need that built there, that built there. Just kind of load these bus guys onto here quite successfully. Yeah, what I've done is I've put in a temporary distribution office here for this one, which is actually going to be for the fuel distrib. And what we're doing is we're actually pulling the fuel from here, simply because it's a little bit easier to get fuel into this area. In fact, rename you while we're at it as well. Call it Doncaster Waste Services. Yeah, the waste services right over there in Warstock itself are getting a little bit stretched. So that is thing. So we're now kind of that's the current situation. The only other thing I had was we had a little bit of a problem with a train getting stuck, and I can't remember if I started doing it, but I think I need to finish it. I didn't really want to do this, but I think I need to do this because we've now got 2 trains running up and down this line. We've now got the fact that when one train's going up this line, the other train won't enter the block. So as I say, I was trying to avoid doing this because it's going to complicate the actual track upgrading. And that's something else I want to talk about, is the fact that we are getting close to getting access to concrete track, and so I'm trying to hold off planning any new railway lines. In fact, we're getting into a position, and I think this has become a dilemma since the addition of the early start DLC, is that now, like that food production area, sometimes you're going to have to decide that yes, you want it, but at the same time you don't want to build it now. It's where in the past you just said, yeah, I need it, we're just going to go and build it. So that's oops, thank you game. Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll put one each side of the bridge, because we're not going to okay, we'll just come here. You can see how long this block was and why the trains were blocking each other. So doing this will help alleviate the situation. What are you? Okay, and they've got another vehicle on the way to the scrapyard. Okay, so that should speed up the trains running backwards and forwards along between the 2 lines. Right, so what we're going to do is, I've got a list here, by the way, guys. We've done the passenger ship, we've done the scrapyard, and just the other thing to show you is that we've got in Milford on Sea now, the incinerator is now up and running, I think. Don't we have... Oh, we haven't actually set up the incinerator. Yep. I've got the buses, so question is, where are we going to pick up the workforce? I think we'll pick up the workforce from here. It's going to be, and then we're going to drop you there. And once I've set the route up, I'll come back. We're going to need to put in a Okay. And we'll put the line spacing on. And I'll just show you here. Where is it? Where am I? Here it is. What you'll see is we've accumulated over 100 tons of waste in the, because I've been sending the waste here all winter, but hopefully that will get picked up. That needs to be one way. What's going to happen is that the waste coming out here will get circulated back in again and double processed. That is a trick that you can do. If it gets contaminated, you can flip it so it gets sucked back in and gets back. But what you get is a circle, and that can cause a lot of problems if you're not careful. I think we've got some firefighters in there. I'm kind of. Oh yeah, we are also building this end station for the route. So that is the current situation. We've got our crew working here. Let me just see what you guys actually working on. Yeah, you're working on this area here. So we're getting pretty close to gravel. In fact, I'm a bit tempted because we've got this storage here. Okay, we've now got our TV advertising finished. I think what I'm going to do is we'll get these set up. So what we're going to need is these guys to get in on the action. Oh, what we haven't got is power. Oh, that's a failure. Let me just... So we're not ready. Oh yeah, I forgot all about power. My fail. Sorry. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to put in a high voltage switching station here. Yeah, we'll put a switching yeah, I'm going to put a switching station here. And the reason for this switching station is twofold. One is so that we can bring the power out here to get this area up and running, which means we are going to need to put I think it's just going to be a 6 megawatt. But at the same time, what I want to do is exactly the same as what I planned in Warstock, is to, how can you put it, be able to reverse the power in the future. Let's get you guys working on that. You've already picked it up. Yeah, so we can reverse the power so that when we build a power station, because we will probably build a power station out here, so that we can then have coal-fired power, because we're not going to be able to supply Leamington and all the industry in this area without a power station. It's the same logic as with Warstock. But at the same time is that eventually we'll put a regulator in once everything's set up back between these two, so that that if anything goes wrong here, it won't steal all the power from Milford-on-Sea. So the next thing we're going to need is a... we put a transformer just there. Actually, I want a bus stop up there. So I think if we can literally put you on the doorstep, can't we? Like that. Actually, if I push you back a little bit, like that. Oh, that's a bit... That was a bit icky. So we've now got the beginnings of a power substation in it. Now, the first thing I want to do is get a... we want to put power to cover all the ports. You've got power, haven't you? So all we need to do is push you to about there. I put you there, put a mud footpath in, and what we will do is this could draw a fair amount of power, so what I'm going to do is we're going to do a kind of squeaky bit like that into there using the underground cables. Alright, how far out with the power did you go? So you've got power right up to there. So what we could do is put in some overlapping power about here. Actually, could we put it there? Yeah, it's right on the edge with that. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll tuck you in about here. Then we'll just use one of these, and we will run down the line of the conveyor to there. I will make sure that we can mix these up. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit messy. Because we need to take the gravel to there. Right, so what we need to do now is put a bus stop in here. So to bring the workforce out to here. And of course what we are going to need is a fire station. Kindergarten. We're going to put a little rural fire station in as well. Flip that way around actually. Just tuck you in there. So we've now got that there. We can, I think what we will do is bump the priority on, because we can get power into here. That means we can get this operational, and what that will mean is that we can start filling this up with quarried stone, so that when this becomes operational we can get this going quite well. Just had a thought, we're going to need some workforce here as well. We've got 75 workers without a job. Let me just see. One thing I haven't checked for a little while is a courthouse. Let's see. You're getting a bit of a backlog. How many courthouses have I got on the map? If you show wear and tear, let's do a wear and tear check. Entire map. Got a steam concrete mixer. Where are you? Oh, you're in the scrapyard, so that's good. Building. Show wear and tear. Yeah, so we've just got a few harbours left. Right, we've got 2 courthouses. Where's the 2 courthouses? Okay, we got one here and one. Okay, so the courthouses were okay. I forgot that I'd built 2 courthouses. I think that was to fix the last crime wave, wasn't it? My instinct is to build some more residential property stuff in here. With a bit of scale. Okay, let me just see what we can put into here, because if we're going to have a coal mine over here, what we're going to do is open up one of these coal mines. That one is really good, if I remember. So we'll come back to the coal mine. Let's just plan some. I've got some over 21s. So what we can do is, We could put in, so we could put in a building here. I could, we could put 2 buildings like that with a, maybe stagger you back a little bit like that. Actually, can we put them that way around? What I'm trying to do is possibly put, we've got this power cable here. Actually, can I, I'm going to change, sorry about this. Hopefully they haven't delivered anything yet. Well, we've got a little bit of gravel, but we demolish you. I think what we will do is we'll go underground with a, we'll have to build a 7 megawatt cable to here. So there's building in the way. Okay. We're going to have to remove these. Glad I spotted this. Otherwise it could have been embarrassing. Now what it means is that we're going to have to reconnect, try and reconnect these. I think what we might, actually I'm just going to get rid of you and redo these. I think I'm being a bit wacky. Right, let me just come here. Okay, demolish you. Oh, great. Okay, I've messed this up completely. Okay, we're gonna have to clean this up, but what we'll have to do is go to plan B. What we'll do is we'll stay away from those connections. Come there. And then we'll just tidy that area up. Yeah, it's all been picked up. I think that will make a tidier solution. And we can just get rid of those cables. High priority. Okay. Right, back to here. The reason I've removed that power line is that it gives us a little bit more scope here for possibly putting some flats in here. See, that's out of range of the drainage. Right, actually, we're going to do it this way then. We come in really close like that and put another block, say there, put a road there, we get a, ooh, it's going to be tight. Put a road through like that to there, and what that does is that then opens up the possibility of coming out here like that, because I'm thinking that, oh, okay, have you been built? Okay, you're laying gravel, but they haven't got to there yet. So if we demolish you, put the bus stop like that with a, okay, I can take the hint game. We can remove you. Didn't plan this very well, did I? Let me just see. We can put a bus stop there. It should still be in range of the two, because all we're going to do is gravel processing. So you could argue that I didn't really need a bus stop here, but and then what we're going to do is run a road here, and what that will do is give us a direct link between there and there. So that means and what we can do is put an end connector there, and we can put another connector there for the road. And what we could do, if we really wanted to, we could put another road across here and bring out the other side of the reciprocal of that there. Right, let's put the power cables back in again. Run you down here to there. Just make sure that is, yep, so that's all done. Again, we'll just let the guys do their thing. We are starting to make a bit more money from tourism. We've got this connection into here, which will then give us even more workforce, which we can then take out through here. I'm just going to look at the coal mine options. That's our best coal mine. I'd rather have that with a modern coal mine. Got a coal mine over there. We've got an edge mine here. Say, actually, we could put a bit of a fast one here. That's 50%, 51%. Okay, I've had an idea. We put a coal mine about there. That's right over the back of these. If I remove you, and if we come back in with, let me just see. Yeah, we can still get 78, 79, 80% from here, 82%. Yeah, I think that will work, because what that will mean is we can put the coal mine here, we can put a gravel road out here. You can come to there when that's been built. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. That brings the coal mine within range of where we want to go, because we're going to have to run conveyors out through here. Okay, we've now got the nuclear power finished, and that's the research for 1939. What we're probably going to need to do is fill in this a bit, but I think that's going to take a little while to do. Have a look. Yeah, it's gonna. We've got a little bit of momentum here. Right, so we're going to need to try and get that so we can bring a conveyor out across here for the coal mine, because what we're going to need to do is put the coal processing here, which means we're going to would need some form, but we need to keep away from this area, because this is where the secondary coal mine is. So what we're going to need is the coal ore processing there. Of course, that will mean that we would also need another conveyor belt coming back to here. This is going to turn into quite a messy area. If I can, well, we got waste there. We could do something like that, because what we can do then is eventually, when we got the new these again, this is modern industry, so this will be 1958. What we can do is knock these down, and then we should have the conveyor connection there. So we'll be able to modernize this. So we need to make sure that we don't... Actually, I'm just going to... I'm going to leave that there. I want to curve you kind of like that. That would leave kind of more space here. If we're careful and say we run the conveyor out there, we could put in, make this in, still keep this as a gravel processing area in the future, because this is going to become quite a major gravel processing industry, because by the time we get the coal in here and the steel mill, this is going to become quite an industrial area. Right, I think we're just see how... Yeah, building needs drinking water. You can see here that we're now getting rid of that, and we are getting a bit of mixed waste, but of course we've got the mixed waste here, 55 tons of it. But this will be, that's the import. The export is coming out as ash, so we've got pure ash here. So at the moment we're really burning off what's got here. The only thing we, yeah, so we've got a little bit of metal scrap, so we're going to have to keep out. We've got a little bit of plastic. So what we're going to need to do is put a distribution office out here. This is something else we're going to need to consider. I'll just tuck you alongside the fire station. I'm assuming we've got people here to give some protection. And then what we're just going to have to do in the short term is export the construction waste, metallic scrap and plastic waste. Although we could start... How much back? See, we got 1 ton. And again, this is an example of what I was saying, is that you can see that it's probably going to take a long time. So what we're probably going to get is about 19 tons of steel per year from a metallic scrap. It'd be cheaper just to sell the stuff, or more effective. Anyway, right, I've built this because I made this kind of bit of a cockamamie loop here, because this area was getting a little bit kind of sorted out. What we got here, new vehicle, yeah, okay, we've got, let me just minimize that. Right, I just want to do a bit of a kind of general health check. Okay, yeah, we've already got the problem here. What I'm doing is I'm sending surplus scrap vehicles down to here, because that's the other problem we've got, is that there's so many scrap vehicles coming into here now that I've had to create an overflow area here. The other thing I want to see is, I don't think this guy's actually producing anything. I think I've got spare cupboard holes up here already, haven't I? No, I haven't. Okay. We've got another... got a bulldozer. Roller there. What's the roller doing there? Okay. We need to start producing some more cupboard holes. Obviously, we're going to be paying for them. So, I'll just put you back on infinite. Don't we have space for the road crew? Yeah, we've got space. And what's that roller doing here? You need to go to there, so you can add some serious weight to our thingy. Okay, so this guy's not doing anything. Can we use him for anything? I don't really want to start asphalting into here. What I want to do is asphalt out this way. What are you guys doing over here? Okay, we need that kind of what you, because as I say, I feel a bit that We're kind of standing still at the moment in Eastleigh, but at the same time I don't really want to start pushing too hard. Wow, okay, these guys are, oh well. So we got that there, we got that there. We got our highway to all the way out here. Okay, we got a couple of little bits there that can be done. It's a long way out, but I think if we can get it built, we can get that connection built to there, so we get that and that built. And I suppose what we could do is build this, because we got this area here, but the little church here, Dunbridge, is could be a bit of a problem. I suppose what we could do while I'm actually looking at it is this road. This road still provides the connection to Ilford-on-Sea. So I think what we will do here is we'll remove this here and probably you as well. And we'll actually put a road bridge in here. We might as well build it because it could become quite fairly cancel. This is partly what I'm actually doing at the moment is kind of doing these types of projects so that we don't have to do them in the future. Trim that off that end. We'll run an asphalt road to there. Put an asphalt road there. And what we can do is build in this and this into here. And we will probably do that bit as well. So this will build the connection that will go out that way. And eventually what we actually I can plan that was while I'm at it as well is put a modern bridge in there, and hopefully there's nobody coming up this way at the moment. Put that there. Then we're put you there, except that, and then we can build this bridge across, and this will be the modern bridge. For anyone's interested, if I remember correctly, it's a little while since I've lived in Southampton. I think this is a kind of, it's called, I think it's called the Red Bridge Causeway actually. So we are, how many over 21s? We got 337. Let me just see here. I'm very tempted. Do we have? We got food, clothes, and electronics. Should we let people into here? Yeah, I think we will. We've got 140 there, because then that means we can get this area growing. We'll let the Cosham shopkeepers housing in, because let them populate the commune as well. Because that will give us the fire coverage, and it'll make me feel a little bit more happier. You guys. Okay. I think we're about these in the back here. Can you get out to there? No. Okay, let me just, can we put These guys have a, yeah, you've got a, this is what I built you for, so. And we'll allow workers into there. How many? Okay, we've got 20 left. What I will need to do is reduce the workforce on this. We're not going to need. And kindergarten we'll leave alone. School, because we're bringing in over 21s, it won't need a lot of people here. University, the same. We can just drop university down a little bit. We got alcohol in the pub. We got no trash collection here. We'll put you there. Let's make sure you, yeah, take that there. The pub always produces lots of complications. See what citizens can't get meat. Oh, we got no meat. I've got a meat collection. My central food distribution. How much? Well, we got meat here. What have we got food in there for? We got a pub here. Got cement export. That's the pub distribution. So how am I actually? Where's my pubs? I know where one is. Okay, Warstock alcohol from pubs. Where are you? You're on this corner. I knew I'd set something up, but oh, this is pub. What am I on about? Sorry. Brain flipped a little bit there. Maidstone source store supplies. Okay, where are you? Yeah, you're supplying exclusively to there, so you're good. It's always the same when you start a new town. There's always something that crops up, so you can come into there. Actually, what did I just set this? What were you called? You're all refrigerated trucks. Let me just rename you. Store meat supplies. So that makes that a bit more consistent. Okay, I'm starting to run out of time on this video and I don't want to overrun. So we're just gonna... Here we got citizens don't have meat. Let me just... Oh, that's full up. Why is that full up? That's full up as well. Okay. We not... Because that's running. Do we have a problem here? We've got no sewage flow. Got no flow from there. No flow from there. Let's put that there. Have we got a bad pipe connection? Just see. No, that says it's connected. That says it's connected. Okay. Well, it says it's all connected. Okay, we've got a problem. How can I deal with this? Because we're going to have a... Right, I've got an idea. Technical office. You. Until I can sort this out, we're going to come in here. Gonna purchase sewage systems, max capacity. You've got 13, you've got 8. I think we'll get we're gonna get 1, 2, 3 of those. Luckily, because I had that problem a long time ago, we've got the sewage disposal there. We'll keep these guys tight. That's annoying. What could actually be causing that? I mean, we've built perfectly good. See, these are flowing, although that one looks a little bit. And if I turn off the see, this is brick running down into, although that runs down and connects to there. I wonder whether there's a problem with this, that it doesn't recognize a brick connection there, because it seems to have been connected there, because this is a mod, and that's where we might have a problem. That maybe this building here doesn't recognize the but technically it should be just graphics. So right, how long before we get the concrete sewage pipes? Prefab panel construction. Let me just see. Let me just see. Where are you? Buildings. 1941. So we're only 18 months away from getting that, and that's going to be a big step, because when we get prefabs in 1942, we get the concrete railway, which changes the whole game, because then we're going to get serious about deciding what we're going to upgrade and what we're not going to upgrade. And that's when we're going to really need to do some work. I think in the short term, they're not complaining that much at the moment. What we're going to have to do is treat Cosham as a place for residents to live in, but we're not going to let them expand too much, which kind of, until we've actually solved that problem. So we'll let the current residents come into here, and they will do this, and they will provide what we've got to do here. More importantly, we will have people in the fire station, so their job is literally to look after themselves and provide fire support, which just covers our crop harvest here. Right, the other thing I've got is I just need to, and I'm getting distracted, and it means I'm starting to overrun on the video. So what I'm going to do just to finish off is I'm just going to see what these guys are. I've been kind of ignoring them for a little while. Okay, these guys are building through to here because they've got past the power substation here. I think we'll just leave them working on what we've got here for the moment. I think this is going to have to become a bridge, although it will be a little bit risky. We'll have to kind of try and get a bridge over here, but I'll put that in off camera, guys, because we've done enough bridges. And one final check about this area here. This area now, because we got the problem with Cosham, is got to be the focus of where we're going and what we're doing. So we got this here. Okay, we got fuel in here. What I will do is set this up with a couple of excavators and that, so that we can start collecting the quarried stone. In fact, we're actually in business actually, but I'll do that off camera, guys, because we still need to build the bus station here for the workforce, and of course we got the road that comes through here, which has not been set up. I think that's because Road connection does not exist with construction. Does that not? Okay, that's going to be a potential problem. But what we can do is rerun this road here. The residents aren't going to like it, but actually, if I come like that, and hook you through to there. And then what we could do, actually, no, change again. Just in case it's just because it's a connection through a building, we do something like that. That gives us a double connection. In fact, it could give us a circuitry system. Especially if this actually works, then we could put an end connection in there or up here, so that we can get the buses spacings going. In fact, is this being built? Yep. Okay. One thing about this game is workers and resources is just 10-minute more type game. And if you're not sure what I mean, it's the type of game where you say, oh, I'll just play another 10 minutes, and suddenly an hour later you're still working on bits and pieces and ends of things and stuff. And this is one thing I really like. I really like 10-minute more games, because it's, well, it's just fun. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it interesting, I think what I will do, given the fact that we've got a lot of backlog of things that need to be done, I will play through as far as possible, probably to say January 1940, so that we can get this area up and running and we can continue the planning. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.